Okay, so this is the character creation for Mass Effect, which carries over into the rest of the game. So, like, if you're playing Mass Effect 2, your character transfers over, and then also for 3 as well. So, the hard thing is, what are we going to do? We're going to do male shepherd or female shepherd. I'm not entirely sure which one I want to do, because I didn't actually think that through. We'll go with male shepherd, actually. Okay, so I think we use the keyboard, right, to type it. Uh, trying to think of a good name. It doesn't really matter. They're never gonna call him by his first name. He's always gonna be called Shepard. But fuck it, we'll go with Daniel.
Warning, data corruption detected. Please reconstruct profile. Confirm pre-service history.
Okay, so this is the backstory for Shepard. There's three choices: the Spacer, which is yeah, basically your parents were with the Alliance and you were always in space during your life, and then you enlist. So it's your typical, cool, like generic kind of background. Colonist, you were born and raised on Mindwar, a small border colony. When you were 16 years old, slavers raided the planet and slaughtered your family and friends. You were saved by a passing Alliance patrol, and you enlisted with the military a few years later. That's an interesting one. And then Earthborn. I think that's what I did in my original playthrough, which says that you were an orphan raised on the streets of the great megatropolises covering Earth. You escaped the life of petty crime and underworld gangs by enlisting with the Alliance when you turned 18. So it's definitely between Colonist and Earthborn. I think, yeah, you could do like a whole thing. Like, there's so many different interesting things you could do with that. Because you could have Shepard being like kind of like a xenophobe, like anti-alien, but you can understand with his background, like it was alien slavers that killed his entire family, or he's a good guy that, despite all that, he puts that aside and treats everyone equally, treats everyone good, you know. And then Earthborn is also pretty interesting, but we'll go. I'm feeling Colonist, and then there's three other things that backgrounds: Soul Survivor, overcome physical torments and psychological stresses that would have broken most people. You survived while all those around you fell, and now you alone are left to tell the tale. That goes pretty well with Colonist, because with Colonist, everyone was murdered, and in Soul Survivor, you're like the only person left, so that's like a common theme. But we'll probably do something a little bit different. War Hero, you risked your own life to save your fellow soldiers and defeat the enemy despite the impossible odds. Your bravery and heroism have earned you medals and recognition from the Alliance fleet. And Ruthless, throughout your military career, you have held fast to one basic rule: get the job done. You've been called cold, calculating, and brutal. Your reputation for ruthless efficiency makes your fellow soldiers wary of you. But when failure is not an option, the military always goes to you first. Oh, yeah, it's definitely between War Hero and Ruthless. I mean, War Hero is pretty cool. I think we'll go with that, because the whole idea is that for the colonist, Shepard lost everyone he knew and loved, and was pretty much like, okay, I have nothing left to lose. Like, I joined the Alliance so that I can die, basically, because my life is worth nothing. He's all, like, fucked up from, the trauma he faced from that experience. So that's how he became a war hero, just because he's like, fuck it, YOLO kind of thing, like, I'm just gonna just go crazy here and kill a bunch of enemies.
Confirm military specialization.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do Sentinel or Vanguard. I know people really like that, but yeah, I feel like Infiltrator's pretty good when it comes to like being a Spectre. You know what I mean? Because yeah, the whole thing is like he's eventually becomes an agent for the Alliance, and I think just being like a soldier. And we're not doing engineer or yeah, we're going infiltrator.
Confirm facial identification.
And let's change the appearance. Cycle presets. And this is the Legendary Edition, by the way. The graphics look okay, but it's not like Oblivion Remastered where it's like a huge fucking difference. And I think they're making a Mass Effect show, right? That's going to be interesting. We don't need the neck to be thicker. We'll probably actually lower all that shit a little bit. Just a little bit, though. Oh, God. That looked bad. Sure, we'll go with that. Ooh, I like the gray eyes. I think it, yeah. We're going with that. Yeah. And then the hair. I kind of like the hair that he had before that I originally had on him. But are we just going to make him bald? Bald Shepherd? I think Bald Shepherd might be okay. Because I'm honestly not really digging these hairstyles. Fuck it. Bald Shepherd with a beard. Does anything else look better for him? No, I think it's just, you know, this is the beard for him. Okay. And then we're gonna... Hold on, no. He doesn't have hair. Facial hair. Oh, yeah. I think that looks good. He kind of looks like Kellogg from Fallout 4, if you guys remember him. I kind of like the head scar, so we'll go with that. All right, so that's the character creation for Mass Effect. It's, you know, pretty basic, but for 2007 standards, it was pretty groundbreaking, actually, and really cool. So now we're gonna start the game properly.
Identification confirmed.
We'll do, squad only. Because you don't actually get to play as your squad members, so... Classic mode, the original, will be used instead of the new one, the 30. We'll go with the legendary one. Subtitles are definitely off. No tutorials. Okay.